Hi everybody, so we're going to get started. So my name is Sarah Fairclough and I'm the Business Administrator on our Platform Solutions team. Today we're going to be talking to you a little bit more about data exchange. And before we get into it, we have a couple events that we wanted to let you know about. Two of our biggest events of the year, our MES Summit is going to be in Dublin on April 29th and 30th. And Elevate is going to be in Boston this year, later in October. So keep your eyes out for invitations to come. We also have some more webinars later this week. If you want to check them out, we have a couple tomorrow and on Friday. So if you'd like to register, just go to our website and you can learn some more information there. And now I'm going to pass it off to my co-host, Stephen.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stephen McKingo. I'm a Platform Solutions Manager here at SmartSimple. I've been with SmartSimple for I would say about maybe 7 years and a little bit more. I typically I configure a lot of systems and different systems as well too. I do a lot of the case management systems as well. This is more for it could be for any system, but usually our case management clients are the ones that use it. So we'll just go. So what to expect from this webinar? In this webinar, we'll show you some of the possibilities of using the SmartSimple Data Exchange technique, as well as the ability to provide a secure method of transferring information between SmartSimple systems. So here's a problem and solutions example in regards to when you would use data exchange. So with a problem, it's being unable to send data from one SmartSimple instance to another SmartSimple instance. As an example, let's say there's two SmartSimple instances. We'll say SmartSimple instance 1, SmartSimple instance 2, and you, instead of sending over documents, it'll be PDF files, it would be Word documents, it could be also data, which would be the client's information as their name, their home address, etc. So in order to send it over to another instance, typically, usually they would, or if you don't have instances, then they would have to send over files as an actual physical documents or physical pictures or physical case records that are just documents itself. So with the data exchange, you're able to send over all the information on one instance to another instance using the SmartSimple Data Exchange process. The solution is using the data exchange feature within SmartSimple. Now you can do it. You can export multiple levels of data, which would be the case information, as well as the activity, which would be level 2. And that would be either, if there's an actual, let's say, a file would be a level 1 record, the level 2 record would be the actual activity itself, whether it's an addendum, whether it's, a doctor's appointment, etc. So you can export multiple levels in that way, as well as organization and contact data as well too. Contact meaning the case or the user or the client's data as well too, from one SmartSimple instance to another SmartSimple instance. So the client's benefits, why your company should use this feature, would be the ability to send and receive data from one instance to another. As an example, would be from one SmartSimple instance to another SmartSimple instance if you have two. One being, let's say, one insurance company I guess another somewhat of a doctor's office, or it could be a physical office as well too. It's also encrypted and secured, as well as the electronic transmission between the two systems. So all the data that you're sending over from one instance to another is encrypted and it's secure and it's safe. So it's not just going to be it's not going to be just like simple information that's being sent over and not secure. Obviously, you'd have to have a password, you'd have to log in, and all this data is definitely secured. And as well, the ability to send multiple types of files. So you can send images, meaning pictures. You can send documents, which would be Word files. You can send PDFs. You can also send videos as well too. If there's a video of let's say of a client doing something, or if there's a video of any kind of sorts of videos, you can definitely send those over as well through the system.
And just before we get into the demo, everyone, we'd love to hear your questions. We are going to have a Q&A period after Stephen does his demo, so if you can just hold off on your questions, we'd definitely love to hear from you afterwards. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to just share my screen. So do you want to? Okay. So for this example, I'm going to go ahead and use two instances. So this would be one instance. This is, let's say we're going to use an example of an insurance company. These are demo instances as well too. So these are just with information that's in the system that's in the system is not actual information. It's just random data. So here we'll go into a referral manager, which is the level 1 that the UTA that we're going to use. So I'm going to look up a claimant that I've already populated. So this would be the first example of data export. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into this file. So it has all the information here. It has the date that this file was created, the client's name, all their information as a file number, details of the client, any some sort of fields that is within the system, as well as I'll show you on this side where we're going to send it to. So this is another SmartSimple instance. So this would be the IME, which would be the Independent Medical Examiner system. This is also another dummy system that we use. So this is just dummy data. So we're going to basically do a data export, which would be sending a file that is in the first example that we have, which would be the E3 insurance, into the second example, which would be the medical function rehabilitation instance. So we're going to send this file that has all the data in it, as well as we're going to attach files as well too. So as an example, we're going to show you how to add a document. We're going to, you can, like I said, an image, you can send a Word file, you can send whatever kind of files you want, attach it to your file here in the level 1, which would be the referral, and send it over to the MFR, which would be the IME. So I'm going to go ahead and show you, this is a file, so we have, like I said, all the information here, and now we're going to attach a document to the medical briefs and insurance examination reports. So we'll just go back to the file here, we'll go to Browse, and then here you'll be able to see different examples of, let me just go back to the files, 1 second. Okay, so here you'll see that you have your folder. You just choose whichever file you want. We'll just put an XML, which is basically a Excel spreadsheet. So we just click on the Excel spreadsheet, click Close, and now you can see that it's been added. So here, now that we've gone ahead and updated that information, we'll just go over and send it. So in order to send a file, and as the attached documents as well too, here, we'll go ahead and go to the option. We'll go to Export Referrals. And then here, you'll choose where you're going to send it to. So you can send it to any, I guess, other instance as well too. But as an example, there's a list. You can add as many as you like, or if you just have one instance here, we have a lot of different instances that are examples. So let me just throw you here. So it just says, do you want to send it over? It says click yes, and you just click OK. So now it's gone ahead and sent over the file. So this example will show you the name of the package, the name of the client that's going over, when it was sent out, when it was modified, whether it's accepted or not, etc. So that's all the information that will be sent over. So now we'll go ahead and go to the other instance. 1 second. All right, so now we're in the other instance, the instance that will be receiving this data. So basically, if it's configured with that the main homepage would have the list of all the examples that were sent in. So here it says incoming package, and here you'll see that this package was sent over by E3, which was the insurance company, the time and date, etc. And then here it'll give you the option of unpacking the package. So when you click on unpack, it'll ask you where you want to send the package to, which UTA. So we're just going to choose referral management 360, click OK, and then go to referral. So what this would do is that this would create, this would actually create the whole file within within the other system as well. So in MFR now, this example, this file didn't exist, but now it just created all the information. It updated everything, meaning it updated all the information of the claimant, any information that we edited on E3, and it sent it over. As well too as the attached documents, you can see that it also sent over the attached document, which was the Excel spreadsheet. So basically, that's the export the data export from one instance to another. So here you'll see, let me just show you some examples of the different options that are there. So I'm going back to the original instance that we were using. So under options, you can export referrals, which is basically the level 1 and also the level 2, which is your referral as well as your activity, which is the assessment section here. So you can also send over, if you create a new assessment, we can also send over the assessment information as well. That would go over and be created. Another way of looking at it, let me go back to the referral, is you can export notes. So notes are also another option of exporting. So if you add a note to this record, you would add, just a note saying we are exporting a document. The document attached has a certain date or time, etc. Whatever notes the users want to send over, or the insurance company wants to send over, that would be attached as well. So you can export the referrals itself, or you can export the notes and add them together by clicking on the export referrals. If you just want to export, if you wanted to just export the notes, then you can click on the export notes and it'll send it over as well. So exchange history, so this shows you the history of everything that's been exported within this file. So here you'll see that, when this file was exported, and if the file gets exported from the other instance to this instance, it'll also record it here. And I'll show you that in a couple of seconds. I just want to show you some of these details beforehand. So if you export a note as well, the note will also get exported, and it'll give you the note name, when it was exported, the time, status, etc. So that's pretty much some of the, the additional features that are there in regards to exporting. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you exactly what would happen when they receive it on the other end, which would be the MFR example, and export it back. So let me just go back to the MFR example. All right, so here we're in the MFR example. So now when we're in the other instance, we're going to go ahead and, let's say if you want to update anything, you can just click on the edit button. You can add whatever data you would like to add. If you want to, update any information, if you want to just attach a document as well. So here, let's go ahead and attach a document on the MFR side and send it back to the E3, which would be the insurance company side as well. So give me 1 second. I'm just going to attach a document here. All right. So I'm just going to attach let's just say it's an image. So we're just going to attach an image as well on it, and we're going to go ahead and close this. So now we've attached an image on top of the the Excel spreadsheet, and so now we're going to send it back. So you click on here on the options section, you would click on the export referral, and then here it gives you the option of sending it back to the insurer. So you click on send, and now it sends it. So here you can see that it gives you some sort of a history of the information that's being sent over. So, the actual file itself. So to say it was outgoing at this time and whether the package was accepted or not, etc. So once you finish that, send it over. So now we'll go back to the insurance example, and we'll go ahead and unpackage the the file there. So we'll go to incoming packages. So here you'll see that the MFR sent back a package. Package was received. We'll click on unpack. And now that it's unpacked, it shows you here the unpack was successful. So now we'll go back to the referral. And we'll go, whatever was updated, it'll just update it automatically within that section. And then as well, I'll just show you the attached documents, and you'll see here that the image was also attached and sent over back to the insurance company. So basically, that's a demo in regards to how the system works from sending over a file as well as any attachments from one instance to another. I'll just give you a quick preview or a quick showing of where this would be configured. So if you are a system admin within the system and you want to configure this in your system, you would have to go to your UTA, which would be, let's say the example we're using, Referral Manager. We would go to our settings, which would be the gearbox here on the top, configuration settings. We would go to connectivity here on the top, and then you scroll down, and here it'll say Data Exchange Settings, and it'll give you a list of who you're going to send it to and who you're receiving it from. So when you're doing the configuration, this is the area that you're going to be looking at when you want to configure that in your system. So you'd have to configure both systems to have the data exchange settings enabled, and you'd have to basically configure, I guess there's some sort of keys that one instance would have, and there's another key that another instance would have, and then you just amalgamate them together, and then you'll see. But I guess if there's any questions, you can definitely send us an email with any questions in regards to that, and we'll definitely try to help you answer some of those. From there, I think that's pretty much it.
Great. Thanks, Stephen.
No worries.
So why don't we open up the floor to questions?
Sure.
When you refer to instance 1 and instance 2, do you mean within the same organization, or is this possible between two separate organizations?
In regards to system 1 and system 2, I mean as two different separate organizations. So if you have one organization, let's say organization 1, anyone can typically log in and see. So you don't really have to send over any files. You just attach files to the single record, and anyone can take a look at it. As long as you're within the same system, you can definitely both see it. What I mean is, as an example, let's say a system or organization 1, they have a system, and then organization 2 has another system. The data exchange is for sending over files for that example, sending it over from organization 1 to organization 2. But if you have your own organization, then anyone can log in and see the data that's within it.
Okay.
Hopefully that answered that.
Do the two instances require the same field configuration on the L1 and L2?
Yes. So you would have. So in the configuration, there's an example. There's an example on the wiki page that gives you all the configuration and how to configure it. There's also videos as well too on our YouTube page. But basically, you would have to have, let's say, field 1 on one instance, and then field 1 as well on the second instance, and then you have to just, within the configuration settings, you'd have to make sure they both match. If they don't match, then obviously the data will not be sending whatever is inside that field will not be sent over to the other field.
Do the fields need to map, or does the second instance just see the fields as configured in the original instance?
Within the configuration, you would have to map the fields. So definitely there's a whole, when you go into the configuration part of it, you'll see that there's, you can add as many fields as you want. You can remove as many fields as well too. When you configure it, you would have to match field ID, which let's say one field ID is 123. Then in the other instance, you're creating a new field as well. And so it'll have its own ID, but then when you're doing the configuration of fields, you would have to map that the field ID on the first instance is 123 as well on the second instance. But that's all part of the configuration mapping section of it.
How do you select what data you want to exchange? Is this a setting on a custom field?
Restrict what data you want to exchange. So when you do the configuration part of the data exchange, you're enabling which field you want to send over. So if you're, let's say, field 1, so when you're starting the configuration, you would have field 1 is on one instance, and then if you don't want to map it, then you just don't add that field to the second instance. So you have to, so basically it's restricting it by not adding that field. So you can add as many fields, or you can not add whatever fields you want. It's all based on the configuration. I mean, definitely we can take some of these questions offline as well too. I'd probably be able to show you better because the configuration part of the data exchange is really heavy. There's a lot of different configuration processes that you have to follow in order for them to work, and it's a lot of testing as well too. So, but hopefully those answers some of those questions. But I'm not sure if there's any other questions, definitely send them over. But like I said, if you do have questions more in regards to the configuration part of it, send us an email, and then we'll definitely take a look and see what we can do to help you out and help you answer those questions.
Great. So thank you everyone for joining us. Like Stephen said, if you need or have any other further questions, please email us at businesssolutions@smartsimple.com. We'd love to hear from you and happy to help. There will be a recording of this webinar sent to you shortly, so just look out in your inbox. And we hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.